It's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Hello and welcome to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert and I am joined by someone who spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool, Todd Eastman. Todd, how you doing, brother?
I'm not bad, mate. See, I think you really overcooked this one, or you pre-cooked this one, because really we should just be calling Jeff Leto, because he's probably going to come in right at the end for a hot take.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The third man that joins us 70% of the way through the thing. So
Jeff Leto.
We're here to talk about everything going on, but especially WWE's Fastlane 2023 results. Just quickly, if you want to join in the conversation whenever we go live, make sure you're following us over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia, and following us on social media on X and Instagram at Wrestle Radio AU, and on Facebook at Wrestle Radio Australia, so you can find out when we're going live. Come chat with us as we get into the conversations and have your voice be heard.
I just realized as we were playing the Open that we're probably losing a lot of our Perth listeners or viewers tonight because they'd be at World Series Wrestling.
Absolutely. World Series Wrestling happening right now in Perth as we speak. So if you decide that you are good enough at splitting your attention, you can open up Fight TV in another tab and watch both of us simultaneously. That's the way. Also, just quietly, Thursday night, Fight TV, we'll have World Series Wrestling featuring your boys. That's right. I'll be on commentary, and I believe Todd may be at that show as well. So I'll be
making a nuisance of myself ringside,
as he so often does. You'll be able to come along and see what it's like when we're actually doing things on a show rather than just criticizing it. But we will have Mr. Jeff Setti joining us a little bit later, but I think it's time that we kick into it and we talk about what happened at Fastlane. They did play a lot of car sound effects at Fastlane.
That was that didn't get on your nerves at all after a while, did it?
No, absolutely not. Not every time they went to a video replay. So yeah, we had a bunch of matches. First off, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso defeating the Judgment Day to become the new undisputed tag team champions. We had the LWO start a match as a handicap match against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, but eventually the third man returned in the form of Carlito to help get the win with a backstabber. After that, Io Sky defended her WWE Women's title against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. John Cena and LA Knight beat the Bloodline. And in the main event, Seth Rollins defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match for the WWE World Heavyweight. World Heavyweight Championship, right?
Yeah, you're right.
These title names are getting away from me. Overall, what did you think of the show, Todd?
Overall, it was good. It was good. Like, I like the fact that they gave everything got time. I think 17 minutes. I think was the small 10 minutes was the shortest match on that card. by just going off something, if I remember rightly from listening to something today. I listened to the Eric Bischoff's podcast today with
I've
Conrad.
got a Google machine. You keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was like 10 minutes, and I think it might have even been the Cena LA Knight one, because I know Io Sky, Asuka, and Charlotte went for like 17 minutes, which is like, that's about 17 AEW women's matches, really.
Really? Apparently the 6-man tag match with LWO was a 10-minute match.
There we go.
Both the women's championship and the tag team match with Cena and Knight was 17 minutes. The opener went for just over 20, and the main event going for about 28.
Which is about right. Like, that's, you want your main event going the longest. So, I mean, and I like the fact that they gave the girls time to cook, which is great. That's what we've been like. Well, I guess it's what like we've been asking for a long time. And when I say we, I mean, like, every time we look at the chat and we talk about women's wrestling, that's what we hear. Put more women on the show, give them more time. That seems to be what they were doing in this. There was a premium sort of set on wrestling in this show, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I really enjoyed that triple threat match. I feel that when it was the three of them in the ring, there was a little bit of sloppiness. I kind of felt like a lot of that, and maybe I'm just biased because she was my least favorite in the match. I felt like a lot of that might be on Charlotte just not having as much ring time recently. It felt like mostly she was involved in the bits that felt a little clunky. But overall, the match was really good. It, having the interference from Bayley that Io didn't necessarily want, but helped her to win. I think it's interesting, and it keeps all the storylines there going. Everyone still looks strong. And we get the continuation of this. Is Io going to leave the Damage Control group storyline? Keanu Reviews joining us in chat saying WWE has really been cooking, showing when they want to make great product, they can. Yeah, I don't feel exactly as hot over this show as I have over a couple of recent shows, but I still think overall it was really good. Kept it down to a tight 5-match card where all the matches got time, everything advanced storylines. Maybe not every result was something that I really enjoyed, but yeah, I think it's hard to argue against this being just a good quality wrestling show.
Yeah, like I didn't like the fact that the whole holding off Carlito till the last. I didn't like that. Yep. I mean, every man and his dog knew it was going to be Carlito. Really, when you think about it, everyone knew that because Carlito ran out in Puerto Rico, so they sort of knew where this was going. Like, so just intro him at the start.
And like people like us who've been hearing through people that, WWE was really high on Carlito after that show. They really liked what he was doing.
Signed him.
We heard rumors he was signed, so.
Yeah. And also as another aside to this, like they went over Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits who are sort of just trying to establish themselves. So that's another thing. Is like, what are you doing with these guys? You're just like establishing them. Don't beat them straight away. There's sort of like there was no real. You couldn't really have a loser coming out of this not looking good, if you know what I mean. Like not looking good because of just the way that these sort of things are structured. Like it's a debut of Carlito. It's also sort of like the debut of like the Almighty Prophets. It's sort of like. Yeah, it was that to me felt a bit off.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with, I feel like the Street Profits. If you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said they'd definitely be broken up by now, right? So the fact that they're starting this new thing with Lashley and getting beaten doesn't feel great. Another match where I don't particularly love the result is Nakamura getting beaten by Rollins again. We've got some interesting follow-on, and I'm gone.
Are you there, mate?
We're
having
here.
Technical difficulties. Is the internet not cooking on the mountain tonight, brother?
Hooray for Australian internet.
I feel like mine's okay tonight, and that so yours must be the one that's because
Must
normally
be
I
me.
get a little.
I'm going to blame other people in the house.
Yeah, because normally I get a little signal when it's me saying that my connection's low, and I'm not getting that. This is riveting for the people at home.
Well, apologies to everyone who has to deal with me being behind.
Go over your aside from. What was your aside from this main event, mate?
So, I really didn't like Nakamura losing again after already losing multiple times, after exposing an injury of Seth that he targeted repeatedly over the course of a long match that would make it hard to win a match of this exact stipulation. I think, it was everything going for Shinsuke, and yet he still couldn't win. And it really felt like a waste. Not that I'm not enjoying Seth's work. I think he's a great champion. I think the match was put together reasonably well, but the result just feels wrong. I felt like it should have been Shinsuke's time. And I know that he's moving on to a Ricochet feud. And for me, that makes both Ricochet and Nakamura feel less important.
Yeah, like I don't disagree with you. For a minute there, I thought they were going to do like a double count out, and I was like, "Oh God, please don't do that." You know what I mean? I was like, "Please," maybe to lead that to another stipulation of some description at Crown Jewel. But as it is, it looks like Crown Jewel will be Seth against Drew McIntyre as of today's Raw. So I guess that's where they're going with it from now. And like I haven't really watched Raw yet, so I can't overly comment on it. So it sounds like you said Shinsuke, and at least we know Shinsuke and Ricochet, that'll be a great match if they're like shackles off.
Yeah. I'll comment a little bit about what happened on Raw. I haven't seen all of Raw, but I've seen bits and pieces. And basically at the start of the show, McIntyre came out to challenge him. And Seth was like, let me guess, you want to do it right here, right now, after I've just been destroyed? And McIntyre did nope, I want you at 100%. I want to fight the champion. Let's set it for Crown Jewel. Yep, handshake, good to go. Then, as McIntyre was leaving the ring, Seth got attacked by, Damian Priest from behind. And Drew looked, watched the attack, and then kept walking up the stage like he wasn't going to do anything. And then Dominic Mysterio appeared with Priest's Money in the Bank briefcase to help him cash it in. And McIntyre stopped the cash in from happening, stopped Dominic Mysterio from coming with the briefcase, threw the briefcase away so that he wouldn't be able to get it. And that gave Seth time to recover. So it was a really strange, McIntyre wasn't going to help Seth, but he also prevented the cash in. And then there was a promo later in the show where McIntyre said, you getting attacked was not part of my business. But if Judgment Day takes the title, then this becomes Bloodline on SmackDown all over again. And it's like, I like when wrestlers have memories and pay attention to what's happening. But it's such a weird path for Drew to take of, I don't want Judgment Day to win, but I'll let him beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. See, I was actually going to question that because of the fact that he did the whole promo the other week setting up this new sort of gimmick where he just wasn't going to help people anymore. He was out for him. And then looks like he helped people. But explaining it if I did that, then I wasn't going to get that title shot because it's just going to be Bloodline and blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that again. That makes sense. But still, it's I don't mind this sort of direction that they're going with Drew because it's different. And it's almost like he's breaking the fourth wall in ways where he's just like, well, all these people interfere all the time and do all this stuff. I kept helping and I never got helped when I was in trouble. So why would I help anyone else? I like that sort of thing because it's that's pretty much what people at home are going, why doesn't anyone help them? That running joke that we always say that baby faces are the worst friends to have because they never help each other when someone's getting hurt.
Yep, absolutely. To pass over to another match that was on Fastlane, which had repercussions on Monday Night Raw. The new tag team champions are Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, who had a challenge from previous tag team champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with Kevin Owens finally offering the respect to Uso after the long-running saga of him and Sami and the Bloodline. Rah, 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 rah. What did you think of, first of all, Rhodes and Uso becoming the new champions?
It's that whole thing where, and I'm very open about this. I don't like when singles guys get together and beat a tag team, an established tag team, especially an established tag team like the Judgment Day, where they're an established group. They've been a group for a long time. I'm not overly a fan of that. I like that they've paid off the whole thing with Kevin Owens, where for weeks he just didn't trust him. He's like, I know what you're going to do. I don't trust you, blah, blah. I like that they've paid that off finally, because they could have just ignored it and just had all of a sudden Owens, he was cool with him, and you know what I mean? I like the fact that they've paid that off. It was a hilarious press conference because of it, like those two winning. But and that, I guess that sort of inspired the title of tonight's show, Fastlane to Drinking in Cody's Bus.
What a delight that press conference was, with the two of them clearly having celebrated, and what fun. It makes sense. And again, sometimes the things that we enjoy also make it more realistic. If you win a big championship like that, you go back to the bus and you have a drink. Absolutely. Of course, that's what they'd do. So I really liked kind of that element of it that made it feel a bit more sports-like, while also being really entertaining, really also, getting them over as relatable baby faces. I thought that was really fun. I think it was great. I think the only match we kind of haven't really commented on there is John Cena and LA Knight defeating the Bloodline, which had a huge hot tag from Cena tonight. But that match was kind of exactly what it was,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do like the fact that at the end of it, you saw where it almost looked like LA Knight was going to turn on Cena or something like that, but then raised Cena's hand instead, didn't let Cena put his hand up. I like that little juxtaposition of what normally would happen, and the normal sort of that guy giving him the rub, and sort of almost flip that on its head, if you will. I like that. The match was what it was, though. It was just, it was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's welcome our Carlito, Jeff Setti, joining us for the podcast tonight.
The hot
Jeff,
tag has been made.
That's right. We're wrapping up our thoughts about Fastlane. Did you want to add anything about the show?
It was a solid show. I don't think it was incredible. There were matches I liked more and less than others. Carlito was a nice surprise. You'd almost forgotten he was around for a bit there. But
it's exactly the opposite of what we said, Jeff.
My criticism was that he should have just been there from the start, because pretty much every man in his dog knew he was going to come out.
That I agree with. I think he should have been there from the start, even if Ray and old mate had made a bit of fuss about him. Santos had made a bit of fuss about him. That would have been nice. But I really, really like the opener. Don't like the winning. Don't like the decision. I would have kept it on Judgment Day for a bit longer to keep them strong. But the main event was just two great blokes beating the piss out of each other for a good 40 minutes there, and it was great. I don't know if you're up to that yet. Sorry if you're not.
No, we sort of just did a full thing, and then we're talking about the show just in general. We're not going match by match sort of thing, so it's all good.
No, I don't think so. I also, my biggest complaint though was I don't like the way EO won the match. EO winning the match that way was not my favorite. I wanted her to win clean. I wanted her to.
Yeah,
beat
I get what you're
Charlotte.
saying. I get what you're saying, but I also get how
And then
they've done
Charlotte
they did
leaves
what
for
they
another-
did.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, no matter what anyone says about each match, solid card overall. As for some WWE news, PW Insider Elite's Mike Johnson passed along rumors within WWE that have Paul Levesque, Triple H, driving what he described as, quote, 99% of WWE's creative direction. The word is that he's been knighted, quote unquote, by TKO to lead the promotion instead of Vince McMahon. And that was a decision which is said to have had a positive effect on backstage morale. I think that also makes sense with what we're seeing. We've been very complimentary of the booking of WWE for the last few months, especially. And definitely through this pay-per-view, it looked much more like a Triple H show. 5 matches, plenty of time for each. That feels like what the old NXT takeovers were.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it is. It's what the original takeovers sort of were. It was just like condensed to these are the matches we've been focusing on. This is what's going on, and really, like, it's not a SummerSlam, it's not a Rumble, it's not a Big Four. It's just a in between pay per view to get you to another like plot point or story point. So,
But even those are better now than some of the SummerSlams.
oh
and
yeah.
other things we were watching 3 years ago. 3 years ago they were terrible, and now these middle pay-per-views, these stopgap pay-per-views, they're fantastic.
Yeah, but like I said at the start, like the fact that they're giving them time is good.
Yes.
There wasn't anything under 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes was the shortest match on that card. So I mean that's great. It's good that they're finally letting these guys actually like wrestle, actually work, tell stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on, Dave Meltzer has reported this week, quote, regarding CM Punk. There's obviously tons of talk of him returning. There have been rumors that it's happening, but those in WWE have only said that no deal is completed, and those close to Punk have told us that it is his intention to return, and the two sides are in talks. Do we have to speak about Punk again?
No, but it's going to be Chicago. It'll be Chicago Survivor Series. There we go.
Yep.
I will.
Survivor Series in Chicago. He'll be back.
If we're talking about Punk, I will share with you my opening monologue from the show that we did this weekend, which is it's been a great year for video games. We've seen, and it's relevant, you'll get it. We've seen Diablo 4. We've seen the new Legend of Zelda game, and we've seen Baldur's Gate 3. And on wrestling, we've seen AEW's first console game come out called Fight Forever. And no one did. Well, except CM Punk.
Yep. So
you know what though? The difference will be in WWE. He'll have structure.
Yes,
and I think that's the main difference.
There's a hierarchy that are listened to, so people will listen to that hierarchy. Where that seems to be missing from AEW. We can't be 100% confident in that, but it seems to be missing from AEW.
Yeah. That's what I think the difference is going to be. That's why I don't think you're going to have. I don't think you're going to have the issues you had in AEW with that. So anyway, I guess we'll just see. So I mean, that's all you can say is like we'll see when we see what happens. I mean, if it happens.
Well, like we're all saying, if it seems pretty strongly hinted from a lot of directions that might be what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but who knows?
It's wrestling, mate. It's wrestling.
But the money's on the line, so someone's going to pick it up. We've had this conversation a bunch of times about Punk. So let's move it on. Let's talk about something that happened on WWE TV today, actually. On Raw, there was a triple threat number one contendership match for the Intercontinental Championship between Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable. Ricochet being attacked before the match by Shinsuke Nakamura, so coming in hurt. and the end of the match coming when Bronson Reed pinned Ricochet to become the new #1 contender. So this seems to be, we're still getting this story of Gable, but we're putting Bronson Reed in there first. Make Gable more chasing the opportunity before once again chasing Gunther himself. Jeff, what do you think of Bronson Reed as the new #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship?
I like it. Like, I'm not going to, I don't think any of us can hide our allegiances. The show's called Wrestle Radio Australia. Bronson Reed, or Jonah as he was known here for years, is Australian and is a very popular figure in Australia. I like it. It's big meaty men slapping meat. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be a fantastic match. Gunther is... I'm reminiscent of you, Todd, saying that FTR are a great tag team because they changed their style for each opponent they've got. Gunther is exactly that as well. Yeah. Gunther changes his style for whoever he's facing, and I think a match against Reed will be almost Reed's coming out party. I think Reed will be the babyface in the match, Gunther a bit more of a heel, and it's just going to be a great time. I'm actually really, really looking forward to that. But I do think the more I'm watching, the more I'm almost positive the end game is going to be Gable. It's going to be Gable.
I hope.
Yeah,
like,
Keanu
really
in the chat.
So.
Keanu in the chat saying Bronson would be a good one to beat Gunther. I don't disagree, but I think at this point, all signs point to Gable. He seems to be the one that makes sense in the story. He perfectly fits the Intercontinental Championship. I don't really picture it not being Gable.
No. I either want like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble there to be a shot of Gable holding up the Intercontinental Championship with his daughter on his fucking shoulder. That's your money shot right there. That's the payoff that the crowd will absolutely eat up. And that's storytelling. When you can eventually get what he promised he was going to do X amount of months ago, we get forward to the big stage and he does it. That's beautiful, in my opinion.
It wouldn't surprise me if they hold it off to Mania now. It really wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing about that is I think that is a long time. We're talking April next year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't mind it being in January because you're setting the table for WrestleMania for the main stage, but he's winning it at Rumble. Can he defend it at WrestleMania with Gunther coming back at him?
Yeah, that's not a bad point. But I think the reason I don't mind waiting till Mania is because Gunther's still regularly having the best matches on each show. And it's probably a selfish thing, and he's injury-free, thankfully, at the moment, as far as we know. So, and people are paying big bucks to see him lose. Keep it coming. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't disagree. I just think it's maybe they might overcook it if it's like that. Sure. I'm not disagreeing with you either. Yeah. No one's disagreeing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hooray! Let's pivot over to AEW now, and we'll talk about our new tag team champions. The AEW tag titles have changed hands on Collision, with Ricky Starks and Big Bill defeating FTR in 4.5 minutes to become the new champions. This comes off the back of reports that during the match at Wrestle Dream against Aussie Open, Cash Wheeler fractured his ribs and as a result, did not take much offense in this 4.5 minute match. Todd, how do you feel about FTR losing in 4.5 minutes to Ricky Starks and Big Bill?
Well, I think you know how I feel about that. But I understand
I wonder if that's why I set it up that way.
Yeah, I understand the circumstances. Like at the point of watching it, I was livid, as you knew from the chat. I was livid that it happened. Afterwards, when I've read sort of apparently, the spot that they do where Aussie Open pick the guys up and run around the ring and smash into each other. I think that's the spot where he fractured his ribs. So yeah, it's yeah. So that match claimed some people. It got Cash, it got Mark Davis. That they really tore into each other in that one, unfortunately.
They did.
Yeah. Andy PW in the chat saying, wrong winners. As not ready as the Guns were last year is how ready they are now. And I fully agree with that.
Well,
and
the
also a
problem
big
is-
shout out to Andy for thinking that this podcast is called the Australian Wrestling Network podcast. So thanks.
Yeah,
Andy.
thanks, Andy. Thanks for that, mate. I believe
the problem
the
is
person I was having.
though,
I believe the
the
person I was
number
having dinner with when we read that article has already sent you a message, so please fix it.
oh god, the problem is the number one contenders now are the Bucks.
Ugh.
So
Yeah,
you're gonna see
and
the Bucks
look, like-
win the titles.
Like we
Oh.
said, at least, you know, we were saying we didn't want Bucks FTR again. And
Yeah,
the
no,
monkeys
I didn't know
curled a finger.
Yeah,
Andy has, for those listening, Andy has apologized and said he's edited it already. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
see, I read it and went, "Oh, well, Mikey's in trouble."
So yeah, look, this was what it was going to be. You know, you can't have tag champions with a big show coming up with a big match against the Bucks, and one of them's got fractured ribs. It's just not going to happen. You know,
I will say,
but like I would have rather it been the Guns, but
so would I. But I will say there is one thing I do like about this, and that is that it's really nice that Cass / Big Bill has gotten himself in shape. He's clearly doing well, and he's finally won a tag belt. And there's part of me that goes, yeah, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. He's gotten someone who's a bit more toxic away from him, and he's clearly in good shape. And,
you
and
leave
that's nice.
Carmella out of this.
Yeah, that was it. His ex-girlfriend.
yeah. And Alex Fireheart says at least it isn't repeat champions. I guess. Yeah, like at least it's kind of a fresh matchup. Like,
yeah, but
for
do you know
all
what
the
the
things
problem
that
is?
it
And
could have
it's
been.
it's the same problem with WWE. They've got a shitload of tag teams, and they put it on like a not real tag team.
Mm.
Yep, two guys.
I understand that the match was probably already booked. I can't remember if it was or not. But if it was already booked, then it is what it is, and that had to happen. But you could have found it. Like honestly, you could have put the Guns in there. You could have put 100 other tag teams that are on that AEW payroll easily to do that. To like Lucha Bros, you've got. Do you know what I mean? Your best friends. You've got hell Hookhausen for God, not Hookhausen, bloody Orange Hook or whatever it is for them, and he is gone.
He's gone. We've
We
now
knew
lost
this was
Lachlan.
going to happen. Yeah, we knew this. This has been going on from the start, mate. You should have seen the start was not good with young Lachlan running the shop.
Okay,
yeah.
well, moving on from that, after announcing the first 30 minutes of AEW Dynamite title Tuesday, will air commercial free. Tony Khan announced that. He followed shortly after the announcement that there will be a 30-minute buy-in prior to Dynamite with a match announced between Eddie Kingston and Minoru Suzuki for both the NJPW Strong and ROH World titles. Lachlan, what do you think about the idea of Kingfish facing up with everybody's favorite angry granddad, Minoru?
I mean, I think you know what I think of it by the way you asked that question, right? I love the idea of this match. Great. Let's have Eddie Kingston and Minoru Suzuki for the Strong and Ring of Honor titles. On a pre-show to Dynamite? Are you kidding me?
On a Wednesday.
On a fucking Tuesday.
Brother. It's on a
On
Tuesday.
a pre-show
On
on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Actually, you're right.
Right? It's this is the most ridiculous proxy war that there's ever been. Obviously, like we said last week, if for WWE, if you've got competition on NXT, yeah, you buff it up, right? We're getting to the stage where this is so both the networks are going to be losing money on that. On top of that, we've got a huge matchup on a pre-show for an episode of Dynamite. Are you kidding me?
How does any of this shock you though? How does any of this shock you?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't at this point. It shouldn't at this point.
You know what?
Like
I'm shocked
Suzuki,
that they're
exactly.
still
Thank you,
shocking
Fire.
me like this.
Alex Fireheart said the same thing. It's not the first time they put Suzuki on a buy-in. He did it the last time. The last time they went head to head, he just got Suzuki and put him on a buy-in with Danielson.
Which was a great match. It was a
Yeah,
brilliant
it was a great match. But they're giving it away. The fuckhead is giving it.
Yeah.
Like, I know he has enough money. He's got a lot of money. But like for your business, you know it's bad when even like this week on Wrestling Observer, like Dave Meltzer was saying how cold the brand is at the moment.
Yeah.
That's a real thing when and to put let's I'm just going to run this through quickly, right? So they're doing a Dynamite on Tuesday, on a fucking Tuesday. Copeland Luchasaurus. Christian Cage is going to come out and address Adam Copeland. TNT number 1 contenders match, Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland. You got AEW women's title, Saraya versus Hikaru Shida. International champion Ray Phoenix against John Moxley. Jay White against Hangman Page. Jericho against Powerhouse Hobbs. MJF is on there. Tony Storm's going to be on there as well. And how is this massive counter-programming that WWE are doing, massively counter-programming to try and hurt NXT? They've got Carmelo Hayes with John Cena outside the ring against Bron Breakker with Paul Heyman outside the ring. Roxanne Perez against Asuka. The Brawling Brutes and Tyler Bate against Gallus in a pub rules. Cody Rhodes making a major announcement, and The Undertaker has been teased to appear. Now, the top one I read you is pretty much a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The bottom one I read you is NXT with guests.
The only thing I'm interested in that top one, in the actual show itself, there's two things. The TNT Championship number 1 contenders match, because you know that's going to be amazing. You know Swerve is working amazingly, and Danielson doesn't have bad matches. The other one is Timeless Tony Storm. Timeless Tony Storm is the best thing about AEW right now. And you cannot convince me otherwise.
No, it is.
It's great.
It is very good. But I mean, I find it so laughable that people are complaining about WWE apparently loading their show when that's what the episode of Dynamite is.
The other one, I've got to be honest, I'm quite interested. I'm less interested in Hayes against Breakker, but Roxanne Perez against Asuka should be great. Brawling Brutes against Tyler Bate and Gallus should be good, and I imagine there'll be one more match between now and then.
Yeah, but they are probably going to put the belt back on Moxley, aren't they?
You would say so. I have a message. I've actually just gotten a message from Lachlan. He says, and I quote, "Fuck."
Fuck. Fuck.
There you go. No, I think it'll be fine. Which one are you more interested in, mate?
Honestly, I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I've been thinking about this, right? For the last week or so, I've been percolating this over in my head. Now, NXT have been catching Dynamite with the ratings, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Correct.
And they've been doing it with basically 2 main roster people.
Yeah. Becky
Lynch and Dominic Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that's a big deal that they had to have these guys on there to do it. Like, if your biggest competition is Dominic Mysterio and Becky, no offense to Becky Lynch, but Dominic fucking Mysterio is your biggest competition to eat into, like, a show that now has Edge, Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland, John Moxley, Hangman Page, The Bucks, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and they are competing with you. The problem isn't Becky Lynch and Dominic Mysterio.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's just not.
I agree with you.
In any way you look at it, analytically, in any way you look at it, they aren't the problem. It's something going on here with AEW. It's not a fucking something like NXT. Sure, they put a premium on matches with that show.
Mm.
So there's a lot of wrestling in there, and it is. It's as much as people can say, they're just going to say it's a developmental territory. Basically, it is. Like you can't tell me that Dominic Mysterio is a polished performer.
We
He
just heard
probably
from
needed
Lachlan
the time in
and
NXT. Yeah,
his connection is absolutely shot. So we're going to have to assume that this has very much been a tag match where I've been tagged in as Lachlan is now unavailable.
we'll forward you.
Look, I agree.
Iron Man Eastman over here will keep going though. Don't worry about it.
Iron Man Eastman. There you go. Look, mate, I have to agree with you. I don't think there is a competition at the moment. I think since Triple H has been booking, WWE have pulled in front and haven't looked back. Back when Vince was booking, certainly AEW was better. The other issue is AEW was tired. Tony is tired. He's the only booker. Stop. You had a great first 3 years, but you should have stopped after 3. The last year of AEW, there have been some amazing highlights, and in-ring, it's fantastic. He should have handed the book over. Really. He's got enough brains around him to book it well.
Yeah, well, let's face it. He's doing that. He's also doing, what's his name? ROH as well.
Mm.
You can't physically do it. You can't, like, mentally you can't do it. It's fucking hard. It is hard.
It is.
And like booking an actual live human show is a lot different to booking with a pen and pad, and you're at home with your notebook going, this week we'll do this, and then this week we'll do. It's a very different animal to actual real booking a wrestling show.
Extremely different. I couldn't do it. I have enough trouble booking my stuff. My little
but it's like, it's very easy to go, okay, this guy will work, this guy, but you never had to deal with the actual personalities behind those people before, which is what
Nightmare BC666, whoever the fuck that is, has gone. Honestly, though, when was the last time one of us watched a live episode of NXT or Dynamite anyway? I watched NXT a couple of weeks ago. I watched No Mercy. So
Nightmare is Lucky.
I know that. That's why I'm giving.
Oh, sorry. I was just checking. I was like, mate, you're bawling out Lachlan right now.
Yes, I know that.
Right, there you go.
Let's move on. I came in literally about 2/3 of the way through the show, but let's talk about our chicken shit and chicken salad. Unless there's something else that I've missed, I don't think there is. But let's talk about our chicken shit and chicken salad. Todd, what is your chicken shit? Let's start with the horrid stuff. Or are you not ready?
No, I'm not ready at all because we're flying through this fucking show. We're 42 minutes in,
isn't it?
This is unheard of. This is unheard of. Dear. I'm sick of hearing all this like counter programming, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. I'm sick of it. Honestly, I know. Look, AEW could not control getting moved to Tuesday.
No,
just like NXT or WWE couldn't control them to getting moved to Tuesday. So, and you can't expect WWE, like I said last week, to just roll over and go, okay, we'll just do our normal show and what happens, what happens.
I think for me, this week, my chicken shit is. This is weird, but I don't care where CM Punk goes. I really don't. If he's going to sign with WWE, good for him. Have the money. Good on you, mate. Yay. If he doesn't show up anywhere ever again, I don't care.
You can't tell me though that you're not interested to hear that first promo.
I think I'm more interested to hear his music because it's a banger.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though, don't you? You want to hear what he's going to say.
I don't. I honestly
don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
Can somebody clip this for Survivor Series?
Look, he's a talent. He's an incredible promo, but I've stopped caring. Because wherever he goes, unless he's controlled with a tight leash, and certainly Trips will probably do that, he just brings a mountain of trouble with him. And I know you don't entirely agree with that.
No, I don't, because I think a lot of that has been created, that narrative has been created by people that didn't want him there.
Yeah, I got to agree. I'll read a couple of these chicken shits out from different people. Nightmare BC666 says, chicken shit, Undertaker still getting trotted out for everything. Still, he was still old a decade ago. Stop. And Andy PWDU says, do you have any thoughts about WSW charging $50 and running 6 nights as conjoined storylines? I think that's my chicken shit. It was asking a lot of fans, I thought. I would agree with you on that, Andy. I didn't know much about WSW because I was busy over the weekend. I had a very, very busy weekend down here in Melbourne, which you'll hear more about when I give you my chicken salad.
Look, I'll disagree, not for just for the fact that I'm on the show, but like they're charging $50 for 6 nights of shows. You don't have to watch them live. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to watch them live. It's like you're getting the whole tour, so you can watch them at your leisure. You don't have to watch them live. And like charging 10, because basically what's that? $50 at 6 nights. That's under $10 a show. I don't really, you know what I mean? It's good, and it's good for the Australian talent that is going to get a shot to be seen around the world. I honestly, and I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I definitely have a vested interest, being that I'm on tomorrow night's show. But I honestly, at least they're not doing just because really, if you think about it, if they were going to do just like normal 6 shows, no conjoining storylines, technically they could just do the same fucking show in every city. And then you'd be paying $50 for the same show in every city, which isn't entertaining at all. At least they're trying to do something with a sort of a thread. And if they really like, they obviously have had to change some stuff up because of Steph. So we're seeing that getting changed on the fly now because of what happened with her.
Mm.
So you're seeing stuff. And like I said, you don't have to watch every show live. You can watch them at your leisure. That's the good thing about being on Fight. You can watch them when you want to watch them. That's why we all get to watch fucking Dynamite when we get home, or we can watch like Collision live on the weekend and SmackDown live or Raw when we get home, because it's at our convenience watching now. So like, again, I have a vested interest. I'm on the shows. I'm part of the tour, but I still don't think it's a bad thing, really. Because you got to pay for those guys to come out anyway. You want those guys to come out. Jeffrey,
and it's lovely seeing Cassie win.
Jeff. Yes.
It's lovely seeing Cassie. All right, Todd, what's your chicken salad, mate?
I showed you guys. It only happened like today.
Oh, it was beautiful.
DIY did a back in the day. DIY always used to do that whole thing with Glorious, where they played his thing like and they did it again today because it looks like Robert Roode must be working in creative now, which is good. Like he must be an agent.
He is now.
So
he's been taken away as an active competitor. So he is.
Yeah, there was rumors that came out that he was taken off the active roster, and I think people had been just assuming he'd been released or something. Whereas I think what it is he's just been moved into like a Jason Jordan sort of situation where maybe he can't wrestle anymore, so we're going to move him into that creative role. If you can just vamp for a minute, mate, I'll try and find that thing so we can play it, the DIY.
It's really good. My slight concern with this, and I do like Robert Roode a lot. Bobby Roode was a highlight of Impact/TNA for a lot of years. I think maybe they're taking him off the road too early, but that's just it's as much because I love the music. Like that theme is
but it's a neck issue. He's been like had surgeries, so maybe it's just he medically can't compete anymore. He can't.
But the music is just great. The music is something else. I'll read a couple of these chicken salads while you're finding that, and then I'll do my chicken salad. Nightmare BC666. Oh, Lachlan, let's be honest. Says, I love Speedball Mike Bailey so much. I want to have his babies. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I love Speedball Mike Bailey. No, he said.
Please don't say that.
Yamashita versus Mizuki from TJPW. Haven't been able to see it. Haven't been able to see it all because it only just happened, but yowza, what fun. Andy, PWDU, said chicken salad was Danielson versus Fletcher, an incredible match. I keep telling everyone that Eagles versus Fletcher in Tamashii is the Australian match of the year to date. I wouldn't argue with you, Andy. I haven't seen it. And obviously, Lachlan, I haven't seen Yamashita versus Mizuki, but I don't doubt it would be great. TJPW is such fun. It's hilariously silly and fun. It's Stardom put up to 12, really. It's so silly.
All right, I'm going to try this and see if it works or not. So you guys can tell me if it's working or not. So here we go. We'll share it. So...
It was great because they used to do stupid things like get him in the toilet and all this sort of stuff.
Yes.
And seeing that little dynamic come back, I hope they keep dropping those on occasion. They just find fun things to do. It's quite obvious that Gargano and Ciampa are really, really tight mates. And the idea of seeing them as a tag team, boy, I want to see them win the big belt. I really do. I want to see them get up there and win that title.
Yeah. So that they're guys that I would rather them them to build up to come through to beat like Judgment Day for the titles. That's something
I would have preferred them, even as a mystery team in a non-title match, beat Judgment Day than what we got on Sunday. And I mean, I get that they wanted Cody and Jay to be part of the show, but I think I would have preferred that.
Yeah, I think there's somewhere I listened. There's something I listened to or I read that this is also a mechanism to be able to get Cody onto SmackDown to interact with Roman.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
So my theory was before was that because there had to be a trade, and the trade was for someone in future to go from Raw to SmackDown. My theory was Cody got Jay to come over so he could go over to SmackDown. This is a different way that they're doing it. So I don't know if I like it more, but it's just a different way to get him on the SmackDown to interact with Roman, I guess.
My chicken salad is a bit more personal. Saturday afternoon at PAX, we were lucky enough to have 180 odd wonderful people come and enjoy and just be beautiful. You guys, I don't know if anyone in the chat was there. I don't know if anyone around was there, but I just want to say how wonderful the show was. The show wound up, it was lightning in a bottle. It was one of those weird shows. And unfortunately, the video didn't work, so we will be unable to stream it. So unless you were there and saw it live, you're not going to be able to see it. But I want to thank each and every person that came in. I want to thank the enforcers, the people that ran PAX. I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with WrestleMania. Our tech, Adam, was fantastic. I had a lot of people coming up to me afterwards and saying how much they loved it, how they haven't watched wrestling for a lot of years, but we're inspiring them to get back into it, inspiring them to go and watch stuff at the local scene. We announced the match between the Ambush and BDE for November 11 at Renegade, so that'll be great. Look, honestly, it was such a wonderful afternoon, and we felt a lot of love from a lot of people, and something like that really touches me firsthand. And so thank you very much to everyone that came out and saw it. We really appreciate it. As was announced that day, and tickets are on sale right now, Canberra, December 15. If you want to know where that is, follow our socials. What's going on there, follow our socials. Gippsland, Australia Day weekend, going to be confirmed soon. And hello, Perth. You thought you could have a WWE show without your boys? We're going to Perth. We're going to be doing a show on the 24th in the afternoon. We'll be finalising all the arrangements and venues and everything else very soon. But It's going to happen. I know that's a bit of a plug of a chicken salad, but it was quite wonderful. So
Look at you being a touring company.
yeah. We're a touring brand now.
We'll look ahead what's coming up in the near future. October 14th, we've got MCW Fight to Survive Natural Classics against Robbie Eagles and Kuzai Fujita. Delta versus Jarvis for the Intercommonwealth and the Women's Championship. The Fight to Survive main event for the 5-on-5 elimination match. The Pareja, Lucky O'Leary, Edward Dusk, and Mick Moretti versus Big Business Lex, Tommy Knight, Eman Azman, Caveman Ugg, and Brooksy was added to that match this past week. Of course, we've got October 21st and 22nd PWA Coliseum. Night 1 main event, Jessica Troy versus Ricky South for the PWA Heavyweight Championship. Also, one of the first round matches is Zack Sabre Jr. against Jack J. Bonzar. So that will be coming up. October 28th, we've got PWL Pro Wrestling League Day of Reckoning. Just announced this week, I think it was Mitch Ryder. I'm seconding Mitch Ryder with Yeet Stevens. So I will probably get thrown around the ring somewhat, I dare say. God damn it. November 11th is Renegades of Wrestling Breakthrough, Jarvis and Robbie Eagles, Solomon Blackwell, Lockie Hendricks, Ambush BDE, which was named or made on WrestleBrania. So look at them breaking stories there, breaking news. Good on you, brother. Also, PWL is doing a Bayside Brawl at the Wynnum Fringe on December the 1st. I keep saying also. I'm not very good. See, this is where I'm not lucky. Slam Wrestling Rage in the Cage, December 16th. You'll be there for that one, won't you, mate?
Yes, I will now. We're going to be doing our big show the night before in the Polo Club.
Yeah, I know. Shit, Internet Lockie will be there as well, so that'll be interesting. National Convention Centre, Canberra. Broderick against Watts in a steel cage match. The Terra Campese Battle Royal featuring Ricky South and others. Tickets are available now at slamprotix.com.au. Ask Jeff about WrestleBranding. I don't have to ask Jeff about WrestleBranding. We already know.
You don't. We've just spoken.
Yeah, Perth tonight is pro wrestling, is World Series Wrestling. You can watch it on Fight. If not, you can catch it later on Fight. Tomorrow night they are in Brisbane, where I will be seconding my boys, our team top tier, against. Hopefully, we've put the challenge out for anyone who has that World Series Wrestling Tag Team Championship. We want them. We don't want them leaving Brisbane with those titles. So whoever it is, Pareja, Untouchables, I think it was Ace Austin and the ABC, that tag team. Mm-hmm. Either of those three, any of those that win that title, we want them tomorrow night. So if you're there, standing room only at the moment, so you can get your tickets and stand and watch the show. If you are there, come and see us afterwards. If we're hanging around, come and say hi. Come let us know you've seen the show. Lachlan will be there as well, because Lachlan Lachlan is the play-by-play announcer on Fight. So if you can't get to the show, if you want to still hear Lachlan, because I can guarantee their internet will probably be better than what his is right now. So you can listen to him tomorrow night commentating and probably bagging me out as I walk to the ring with Mitch Ryder and Tim Hayden. That is about it, guys. I
also want to shout out. I also just very quickly. Why, hello, Ree just joined us. Haven't seen you in a long time. I just want to shout out Andy PWDU, who's written a great article. Look for it on Pro Wrestling Down Under: the rise, the stagnation, and the downfall of DMDU. It's probably taken a lot of research, got a fair bit of opinion in there, but I did it. It's an enjoyable read. So thank you very much for writing that one out, Andy.
Yes, that is yes. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you subscribe to WRA. It's free. You can do it on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcast from. If you do stop by Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review. Helps us get inside more ears, helps the algorithm for all of that sort of stuff. Our socials are at Wrestle Radio for X and Instagram, at Wrestle Radio Australia, just on Facebook. Our merch, Wrestle Radio Australia merch, is on Redbubble. Anything you get from that, your hats, your shirts, your coffee mug, anything like that, all the profits go to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, two charities that we really do support. We support them so much that on November 11th, we are doing a 10-hour live stream for our 10th anniversary. All the proceeds, we're going to be raising funds through a reputable charity organization that we will find, something that we can track and be accountable for. All of that money will go to help mental health. It will go to Beyond Blue, Gotcha for Life, those charities that we really do believe in here at Russell Radio Australia. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff over the 10 hours. We're going to be talking to people. We're going to be doing games. I might convince Jeff to maybe write up a segment or two for Brainia that he can tease you guys with. So when you go on tour, you'll know what type of fare you're going to get when you rock up to one of those shows.
We could do so.
All of that sort of stuff. We got our friend Redneck Kung Fu, who was in the chat before. I've got to actually contact her to get into to help start designing this shirt that we're going to do, because that is also going to be for sale, and the proceeds from that will also be going to anything we make from this live stream is going to help men's health, mental health.
Okay, I just want to point something else. Sorry to interrupt you, Todd. But
yes.
Rebel has just said she will do Brainia. We are getting Ree on for the segment of Wrestle Brainia, and it'll be a fun thing. Ree, you are not getting out of it now. You're doing the Wrestle Brainia for charity, and she'll do it. Great.
Well, basically anything you do with Jeff is for charity when you think about it. You're helping the poor unfortunates of this world.
Look at me, I can't afford a razor. I just also I'd like to mention some socials of ours. Of course,
yes.
Todd is at Beast Eastman on X and Facebook and X, Twitter, and Instagram.
I'm different on Instagram. It's like Todd Eastman underscore
Beast Eastman on X or Twitter. I'm Jeff underscore Setti on X and Insta, and at WrestleBrainia on Facebook, Insta, and Twitter. Wrestle underscore Brainia specifically on Twitter or X. Lachlan is
at Lachlan Albert on X.
At Lachlan Albert on X. You can follow any of the three of us. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. The higher the rating you give us, the more ears we will get into, which we think is really important.
Plug your game show too, please.
My game show. Oh, yeah. And also, it's been a big weekend. Lachlan and I have a Board of Games podcast that we do occasionally when Lachlan's the internet wants to work. But for Todd, the Beast Eastman, I'm Jeff Setti. It's been a real pleasure. You guys keep well, and we'll see you really soon.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people do.